Hi there motorcycle travellers. Today we're going to be showing you what we pack on our little GS310 bikes and what gear we take camping with us. So first of all, we use on my bike this SW Motec dry bag. It's called a 600, I think it's a 60 litre one. And what we do is we put our tent. Our tent is a two-person Kathmandu tent. This was a $75 New Zealand tent. It has two stretchy poles that all link together that go crisscross across the tent. We use this ground sheet, which is just a standard tarpaulin, to go underneath the tent. We find that gives us better thermal performance, keeps it drier and warmer in the tent. So this goes into the bag and takes up almost the full length of the bag. Then I slide this one in beside it. And then we have our sleeping pads. Now these are the original sleeping pads that we got, which are from Kathmandu, and they're 25 millimeters thick. They're not thick enough for our aging bodies, and the joints just don't like it. So what we did was we started off and got a 50 millimeter thick blow up mattress. That was pretty good, but it still wasn't quite the ticket. So what we do now is we take that 50 millimeter, we also take the shorter self-inflating 25 millimeter pad, and we put the two together to give us 75. This one is a 75 on its own. Look at how much smaller that is than all of this, and you can see that really that's what we should have done in the first place. Should have got some 75 mil ones. Trust me, that's the way you want to go. So anyway, if we're wanting to be luxurious, we fit these in alongside the tent. We fit these ones in on top of the ground sheet, and then I fit this tube in, normally on the bottom, because it's a hard cardboard tube. It's got a cloth in the end of it, which we use for drying down bikes and stuff if it's been wet overnight. And in here I use these gas canisters, because these are about a fifth of the price of this other one that I have here, which we started out using, but this is a bit harder to fit in to the bike because of its size, and it is a lot more expensive, about 5 times the price of buying these. So we're moving to these. The cloth stuff's in the end there just to stop them sliding around, and it goes in the bottom, stiffens up the bottom of the bag, which makes it tied to the bike a bit easier. We have a first aid kit that goes towards the top, along with a tyre repair kit, which we had to use the weekend before last. Got a puncture. And I have two types of tape, the normal gaffer tape, and inside there is some rubber wrap tape, which is a self-adhering rubber tape, really good for repairing anything that needs to be sort of waterproof. Also great for if you get a tear in your twist grip. Tying things onto the bike can be used to make a rubber band because it adheres to itself, so it's quite handy. So that goes in there at the top as well. We have a camping spade, shovel, that goes down the end, and we have two Torpedo 7 Featherlight Adventure chairs. They're basically a copy of one of the more expensive folding chairs. They're quite clever in the way they work. You basically can just flip it out like that. All the pieces clip together and sort of semi-self-locate, and you end up with the framework for your chair. There's the back of the chair, there's the bottom, and this piece stretches over it and basically gives you a chair with a back, which after you've been on a bike all day is a really nice little luxury feature, and it packs down really small very easily, as you can see. has a little Velcro tie to keep all of these things from flying everywhere, and keeps it all together. And that just packs in to the ends of the bag. I find that anything that's got hard surfaces like the temp poles, these that have got the poles in them, I try to put those in the bag in such a way that they help to keep the shape of the bag, so they go down the side here and they keep the bag square with my cardboard tube, my tent. That all keeps it nice and square. We have a couple of inflatable pillows that go down in the ends here in little nooks and crannies. Sleeping bag liners, really good for giving you that extra bit of warmth if the temperatures drop, and also keeps your sleeping bag cleaner. They pack down into the space at the other end. Then a joy invention. My wife is brilliant. She came up with these covers which are made out of old sheets. These ones go over the inflating mattresses, which stops them from squeaking in the night. These ones go over the pillows, which stops them from squeaking when you move. Really good, because it helps you get a better sleep. They go into there as well. This is a bike cover, goes down the other side. And then sometimes we'll take the compressor over here if we're going particularly inaccessible spots. We took it last time because we had to plug the tyre, which we found the puncture just before we left home, and so we plugged it and put the compressor in, and I was having to pump the tyre up every morning because it was slowly going down. The plug wasn't that great, so it's probably a good idea to have that anyway. Might be a bit of a large size, but eventually we'll get a smaller one. This is the dry bag that Joy puts on her bike. This has the sleeping bags in it, and we started off with some sleeping bags that just weren't good enough. We've now gone for Exped brand sleeping bag that's good down to about -4, and that's -4 centigrade, so that's really good. This bag here is a Krieger 20 litre pannier, straps onto a plate on the side of Joy's bike. All of our clothing goes in here, and what we do is we put the clothing in some clear plastic bags that have a zipper. They're bags that some bedding material gets commonly packed in. We use one each and a separate bag for toiletries, and they go in there along with our wet weather gear. Goes into this bag here, and those go onto Joy's bike. So that's on her right hand side of the bike, the left hand side, and then tied across the seat. The other gear that goes in here is our wet weather gear, so that will sometimes go, depending on the weather, sometimes it'll go into this bag, sometimes it'll go into the back of Joy's bike if it's looking like it's going to be pretty bad weather, so it goes in there. This is our snack and cup of tea bag. So in here we have all of our items for making a cup of tea. We have our crunchy bars and our cappuccino mix for making coffee. We have our knife and our fork and spoons and salt and pepper and all sorts of condiments, milk powder, and that all goes into this bag. This bag goes into the top box on Joy's bike so that it's easily accessible, and it also, we take on her bike the gas cooker and a gas bottle, and this is the little gas cooker that we have. It's an MSR, very small, with a lighter fits in the top of it if you put it in the right way around. It's Got an art to that, and that will go in her top box. I've just got it in here for sake of storage. This is a little windshield that I made up that basically sits around the burner and goes on top of the gas bottle that's coming along here, so it just lifts it up, and that's just a simple thing made up out of some plastic packers that stops the wind from blowing your fire out. This is our cup of tea making pack, so that goes in the top box. It's a locking handle with 2 cups inside it, and we put our water in there that we carry with us and boil up a cuppa on our little burner, and then after you've finished, all of this packs back in and the handle locks it all in place. We put it in this bag just to stop it getting scratched and stop it rattling around, and that's our cooking setup. Here we have our other bag, which has things like detergent, clothes washing gear, pegs, scrubber, toilet paper, insect repellent. All of that stuff goes in this bag, and that usually goes, where does that go, Joy, normally in your bike?
In your bag.
In the big bag?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where we normally put that. So that'll go into here. Why I pack this on the ground is in order to get everything as square in the bag and packed in as well as possible. If you try to pack this on the bike, you'll find it's leaning over the side. You can't get down and pack things in as well, and it just gets to be difficult to do. So we pack that on the ground. Just pop all that in here, and then once you've got it packed up, you can roll the top over, clip to clips, cinch it down nice and tight, flip these over and get them reasonably tight as well. Cinch it all nice and firmly, and then you're ready to just lift that onto the back of the bike like so. Get it nice and central and tie it down. That's my bike, water on this side, spare fuel, tool kit. I have a tank bag which carries my sunglasses, my reading glasses, and hat, extra bungees, some other sort of spare tools, sunglasses, suntan cream, little bits and pieces like that. It's a quick removable tank bag. We'll run through some of the other stuff when we've got both bikes loaded up and show you what it all looks like when we're ready to take off on a ride. But that's what we pack, and I think this weighs about 18 kilos all up, maybe 20 if I've got everything crammed in there, but 18 to 20 kgs and 60 litres for all our camping gear, plus our clothing and sleeping bags on Joy's bike. Happy riding, and we'll see you next video.